Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert.
And I'm Erica Bodker, AccuQuilt's corporate marketing specialist.
Eric and I are huge sports fans. My son and granddaughter are big into soccer, and I love college baseball.
Well, during football season, you can find my family and I cheering on the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Eric and I are both thrilled to announce the newest Go die to our applique collection.
That's right. This is our new Go Sports Medley Die. Now, it's got 5 distinct shapes. It's got a football, the laces, of course, a baseball mitt, and 2 sizes of circles. Now, some of you might be wondering about those blank circles. AccuQuilt has free embroidery downloads that will turn these circles into a baseball, a basketball, a soccer ball, and more. Isn't that fun?
All right, quilters, here are some examples of these free embroidery downloads. Think outside the box when choosing your colors. Oakley has a pink and green and orange soccer ball. It doesn't always need to be black or white.
So our banner shows all the shapes, and we used a little Husker fabric. It's a great way to show your team spirit.
To help you showcase the Go Sports Medley Die, we have this fun throw quilt called Go Diamond Days Throw Quilt. Be sure and download the free pattern at AccuQuilt.com before you start your project. For this quilt, you're going to need an 8-inch cube and a 2.5-inch strip die.
Okay, so if you own the Ready, Set, Go, you have all the dies you need to make this project, of course, except the Sports Medley Die.
There you go.
If you need a cube or a strip die, you can find those items at our website at AccuQuilt.com or from your local AccuQuilt retailer. To find a retailer near you, go to the store locator on our website.
AccuQuilt has 6 different sizes of cubes: 4-inch, 6-inch, 8, 9, 10, and 12-inch blocks. Each cube has 8 different geometric shapes. All the shapes are the same in every cube. They're just different sizes. All right, Erica, let's open up a cube and show everyone what's inside.
Now, your first tip is always to pull out the skinny one first, right?
Yes, then you don't break a nail.
And we're going to find our mat.
And our pattern book. So let's pull this out because we're going to need it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Then the next shapes are shapes 1 through 4. All right, so let's talk about the cube system.
Okay.
First of all, it's based on a 4-patch system.
That's right.
Shape number 1 in every single cube is a square. So in this case, 4 of them together would make an 8-inch finished block.
Right.
So don't think, oh, I'm getting the 8-inch cube, it's going to cut 8-inch blocks. Some sewing is involved.
Some sewing is involved.
Yep.
Right.
We're going to need shape number 1 for our pattern, so we're going to pull it out there. All right, Erica, shape number 2.
Smaller squares.
Smaller squares. And 4 are on this die board, so keep that in mind, quilters. Sometimes the shapes have multiple shapes.
That's right. Now, we've built in the seam allowances into all of these shapes. And if you were to sew 4 of the number 2s together, it would equal back to the same as shape number 1.
I love it when the math works. Shape number 3 is my all-time favorite shape, half square triangles. So the cool thing here is that AccuQuilt cut off the dog ears. Yes. So from this point here to this point here, this is a perfect 1/4-inch seam. And we need that for our project.
That's right.
The last shape in the cube, shapes number 1 through 4. Shape number 4 are 1/4 square triangles. So just like our half square triangles, we have that 1/4-inch seam allowance built in. We've cut off our dog ears.
And if you sew 4 of those together, we're going to be back to equaling 1 of shape number 1.
I love it. All right, let's pull out the next shapes in our cube.
Perfect.
So shape number 5, Erica, I call it our workhorse die. It is
half square triangle again, but these are smaller, Pam.
Right. So in every cube there are big squares and little squares, big half square triangles and little half square triangles.
So if we were to sew 2 of these together, it would equal 1 of our small squares.
Yes, and we would need how many to make shape number 1?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
There you go. Look at us doing math on the fly. Shape number 6 is not just a square, but actually it's a square on point. It's meant to live on its tippy toes like a little ballerina.
That's right.
And then, Erica, what's the shape we need on the outside to equal shape number 1?
We're going to grab our friend shape number 5, again our workhorse, and when we put 1 on either side, it is going to make a square that's going to equal to shape number 1.
I love it. All right, shape number 7 is a parallelogram. And Erica, this is a directional shape, right?
Yes, yes. So if you want pairs, you can fan fold.
Right.
But if you want them all facing one direction or the other, you need to follow your pattern directions for whether you're placing your fabric all right side up or right side down. So you need to pay attention.
Excellent. And you're going to need shape number 5 on the outside to equal a rectangle.
A rectangle.
Wouldn't it be amazing if in every cube there was a rectangle?
And there we have it.
Ta-da! Shape number 8 in every cube is a rectangle. 2 of these sewn together equals shape number 1.
That's right.
So remember, quilters, all the shapes are the same in every cube. They're just different sizes.
Right. So they're all going to relate back to that shape number 1.
All right.
So to cut these pieces, we would measure just a 1/4 inch on either side.
We have our little ruler. Yep.
And you just need to leave yourself a little 1/4 inch on either side.
Right.
And rough cut your fabric.
Right, and I would just add a 1/4 inch and rough cut with the fabric. And especially for the square, so right here are squares, right? And then you can just sew your pieces together.
Right.
You could just chain pieces for days.
And so here's a great example of that 4-patch that we talked about.
Right, and it makes an 8-inch block.
Right.
Next are the half square triangles that make this block. It kind of looks like a baseball diamond.
It does.
I feel like there's a theme going on here.
I do.
So the question I ask myself all the time when I'm using my product is, if I'm going to sew these pieces together, can I cut them together?
Yes.
Right? So half square triangles, I'm going to sew them together. So let me show you this super cool trick on how to cut them together and then sew them together. So again, I'm going to measure side to side at a 1/4 inch, and then I'm just going to rough cut with the fabric. Now you want to make sure, quilters, that lengthwise grain is parallel to this lengthwise blade. I like to say my tummy, parallel to my tummy, so I know it's going in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my fabric together right sides together.
Right, it's genius.
And then I'm going to lay it on here.
Yep.
And I'm going to go back and forth. Now you can do 6 layers of fabric. Today I'm just going to do 4 because that's how many I need for my block. I'm going to use a cutting mat. Erica, what happens if you try to use a die without a mat?
Absolutely nothing.
Yep. So you want to cut those for me?
I would love to.
Now this is on a 6x6 die board, so it will fit through all of our cutters, including our Go Me and our studio cutter with the appropriate adapter.
Okay, so we're going to start working on this.
There we go. All right, so now look at this. I have perfect half square triangles, and look, we've cut off the dog ear.
Yep.
So from here to here is that 1/4 inch seam. So I'm going to just chain piece, right? So I'm just going to take my pieces off.
Okay.
Just like this, and then when I'm done, can you iron them for us?
I would love to.
And let's press to the dark side.
I would love to.
Perfect.
So we're going to get these all chain pieced together, and again, we've removed the dog ears. They're going to go fit together perfectly, and when we press them out, you'll see that we're done. We don't have to go back and do any trimming at all on these.
So much faster.
Which is so much faster.
So much faster. Do you remember back in the day, Erica, when we had to cut the dog ears off?
Oh, I try not to, Pam.
Yes, long before our AccuQuilt days. So look how I'm just chain piecing for days.
Perfect. And this is such a fun project. Again, you could chain piece your 4 patches over there. You're chain piecing these. You're going to get this done. I bet there's a lot of kids that everybody's got in their lives, or adults too, that would really like this.
There we go. All right. I'm going to give these to Erica, and then we are going to just press to the dark side.
All right.
And we'll show how we lay out the pieces.
Okay, so.
Now, think about this, quilters. You could use any kind of colors that you wanted to use, right?
Sure.
We're going to do like a baseball theme here, but you could totally make it your own.
Oh, you could.
Look at how fun that is.
So quick, so easy. And we've got some that are already sewn together
so we
here.
can just do 2 and show you how it's done.
That's right.
Look at this.
And it's all in the layout, and that's what Pam and I both love about half square triangles. You can get so many different looks just with these shapes.
It's my all-time favorite shape. All right, there we go. We use these 4.
There you go. All right.
Perfect. All right, Erica, do you want to talk about the sports medley die?
Absolutely. So we now want to cut out our sport shapes for this. And now you may look at this and say, well, if you're making a football, do you have to cut out all the other shapes?
Right.
What's the answer?
No, you do not. It's only going to cut where there is fabric and a mat.
That's right. So if we only wanted to cut a football, I could grab that 6x6 mat and just cover the football with fabric and a mat and cut.
There you go.
But I think we want everything.
We do.
So we've got some fabric ready for that. We've got a nice orange. We're going to do a basketball down here.
And we've already pre-fused our fabric. So quilters, remember, once you pre-fuse, you don't have to worry about that lengthwise grain.
That's right. That's right.
And you can use up to 4 layers of pre-fused.
Absolutely. Now we're going to put white over our laces and our little baseball.
I love that there are laces.
Yes.
I think that's so cute.
So cute. This is going to be for our mitt. We'll just lay that over there, and it's overlapping, but that's okay because we don't have more than
that's our 6 layers.
Two layers.
Yeah, that's just 2.
Yeah.
And we could do up to 4.
And I'm going to take my football and put it right down there, and we are good to go.
Perfect.
Now, of course, now we're going to need this size mat because it is a 6x12 die. We need a 6x12 mat.
And we're going to cut all of our shapes.
We are.
And think outside the box when it comes to fabric. Maybe you want to do denim or flannel or even felt.
Oh, you could do some cuddle fabric. You could do so many fun things.
You could. And remember, once you get those thicker fabrics, you only do 1 layer of pre-fused.
That's right.
All right? All right, so here we go.
Here we go.
That mat,
slide, slide, slide. Well, by golly, we are so staticky here.
We are.
But I gave it my college try.
You did. Good job. All right, so here is the laces that go on our
so
football.
adorable. I
just
love it.
And then here's our little baseball that goes in our mitt.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, here, we have to show with the mitt because it cuts out the little shapes so
the
that
little
you can
laces.
The little holes in the I'm not a baseball person,
Yeah.
so
Look at how fun that is.
you would think I would be.
Now think about how difficult it would be to cut all of those pieces by hand or not. All right, quilters, once you've cut your shapes, you have several options to applicate them to your project. So if you have an embroidery machine, you can download the free embroidery files, which include stitching a baseball, a football, a soccer ball, a basketball. I mean, just think of how fun that would be. Normally, these embroidery files would cost over $20, but they are free with your purchase of a die, adding even more value to that die.
That's right. So no embroidery machine, it's no problem. You could use raw edge stitching, you could quilt just over the pattern to finish it. You could use a decorative stitch. Not a problem at all.
All sorts of fun ways to do it. Follow the rest of the pattern to add those 2.5-inch strips to the top and the bottom of your sports section. Then add a row of squares. Once the top is complete, sandwich the batting between the top and the backing, based and quilt as desired. Add binding and don't forget to miter your corners.
At AccuQuilt, we have all of your sports-themed quilts covered as we help you cut time
so you can quilt more.